If you're Donald Trump, there is no one worse to run against than Kamala Harris's new VP pick, Tim Walz. Walz is the hugely popular governor of Minnesota. He's supported by unions and blue-collar workers. He's supported by progressives and young people. He's supported by the agricultural community, by teachers. Kamala Harris just picked a VP who is supported by both Joe Manchin and AOC. If ever there was a pick to unite the entire left, she found him. He also offers voters the attributes they might be looking for that Kamala Harris herself might not have. He is a white man, he's got military experience, he's from a rural background, he's got strong union bona fides, although you can argue that Harris does too by being part of the most pro-union administration in history. Anything that Kamala Harris might be lacking, Walz can clearly pick up the slack. Even Nancy Pelosi made that argument pretty convincingly.
A Heartland of America Democrat. And he was the chair of our Veterans Affairs Committee. And I don't want anybody to forget that, because he made tremendous, tremendous gains for our veterans. Working with our folks on the Appropriations Committee and with the Speaker, we made more progress than had ever been made in the history of our country since the GI Bill under his leadership. 25 years in the National Guard, longest serving non-commissioned officer ever served in the Congress of the United States. So he brings the security credential, he brings the rural credential.
But here's where the choice was especially strategic. When Donald Trump chose JD Vance, he chose someone who offered no bridge to any other voters. Vance isn't moderate, he's not from a swing state, he's not a different race or religion or ethnicity or gender, he is a carbon copy of Donald Trump himself who just doubles down on the Trumpism. But Walz, for all of the reasons I mentioned before, offers a bridge to voters who Kamala herself might have been lacking. Walz is how you expand the coalition, how you broaden the tent. He is expressly something different, a Midwestern, folksy high school football coach to Harris's perceived San Francisco liberalism. And so now, when contrasting Vance and Walz, in Walz, you've got someone who oozes authenticity, while in Vance, you've got someone so phony that he will literally say or do anything to consolidate power for himself and get ahead. He's literally running on the ticket with a guy who just a few years back, he himself called America's Hitler. Running on the ticket with the guy who attacks biracial Americans even as Vance himself has 3 biracial kids. Vance is a phony with zero convictions, while Walz is as normal, as human as it gets. In fact, here's a video that I literally cannot stop watching that puts that on full display.
Hey Minnesota, Governor Walz here, out at the State Fair with my daughter.
Hope.
Every year we as a family do something old and something new. I get to pick something, a classic, the old mill ride, to do that. And then Hope gets to pick something new.
I think we're gonna go do the slingshot.
Which I don't know what it is, and they're keeping it from me. But then we're gonna go get some food, corn dog.
I'm vegetarian.
Turkey then. And
Turkey's
then,
meat.
Not in Minnesota, turkey's special. And we will go do some of those things and report back.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Woo! Oh my God. Yes! Oh my God. It keeps going.
Yes!
That was good. Good job, Dad.
Oh, thanks, Hope. All right, Minnesota, it's worth it. Woo. Wow, that is wild.
That was pretty cool, actually.
That is wild.
No. That would be good.
It was okay. It was so worth it. Good call.
It was good.
Thanks for talking me into it.
You're welcome.
And contrast that with this gem from Vance.
Hey guys, JD Vance here in Radford, Virginia. I thought I'd take you behind the scenes a little bit. When you get to an event, they've got a ton of crap for you to drink and eat. You got 3 bottles of Diet Mountain Dew, about a dozen Snickers, a bag of chips. If I ate even half this stuff, of course, I'd balloon up like crazy. This is the energy that powers the presidential and vice presidential campaign.
So yeah, if Vance is looking to lock up the awkward guy talking about chips at a folding table vote, off to a great start. And it's not just Vance's overall weirdness. Consider the most important legislative issue in this entire election cycle, reproductive rights. Vance has called for an outright end to abortion, and in just June, voted against the Right to IVF Act. Meanwhile, Tim Walz used IVF to have his own kids. So if this election is going to be a referendum on reproductive rights, then you better believe that we could not have two more effective, passionate, authentic messengers than Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And there could not be more obvious foils than JD Vance and Donald Trump, whose own stance on abortion is abundantly clear as recently as just a few days ago.
Everybody wanted abortion brought back. They didn't want Roe v. Wade in the federal government. They wanted it, everybody.
But the majority of Americans oppose Roe v. Wade being overturned.
They don't know about this. Right now they're voting. It brought it back to the states.
So I'll put Kamala's and Walz's record against Trump's and Vance's any day of the week. In fact, if you're looking for split screens, here's a good one. This is Walz after signing a bill providing free meals to kids at Minnesota schools. And contrast that with the latest Republican move for kids, like how Sarah Huckabee Sanders weakened child labor laws in the state of Arkansas. Remind me, which one of these are the pro-family and pro-kids political parties again? Is it the one giving free meals to kids or the one sending kids back into the mines? Take all the time you need with that one. And clearly, Trump has zero clue what to do with Tim Walz, not unlike his ability to know how to attack Kamala Harris. Trump released a statement today saying that Walz would, quote, unleash hell on earth. Look, Republicans can attack Walz and Harris all they want, but if the best they can come up with is that Tim Walz, this guy, would unleash hell on earth, I think that goes to show that they've got absolutely nothing. Granted, that won't stop Trump from pretending like he scored some huge win anyway, posting stuff like, thank you, on Truth Social, as if the selection of Tim Walz is some coup for the right. And we all know how much Donald Trump loves coups, but let's be real here. Walz is a hugely popular rural Democrat who appeals to the exact constituencies that Trump needs. Young people, rural Americans, progressives, teachers, union workers, blue-collar workers, military members. Tim Walz is a nightmare for Donald Trump and JD Vance, and no amount of fake-outs and pretend confidence by Trump is going to change that. Here's a personal favorite of mine. Donald Trump's campaign press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, released a statement trying to paint Walz as a radical leftist by including in her statement that Walz embraces policies to allow convicted felons to vote. So that we're clear, this is the press secretary for a 34-time convicted felon, attacking Tim Walz for embracing policies that would allow people like Donald Trump the right to vote. Honestly, Carolyn Leavitt should applaud the position by Walz, because people like Tim Walz are the only reason that the Republican nominee for president will even be able to cast a ballot this November. So overall, a very smart move by Kamala Harris to choose Tim Walz, someone who is the pick of progressives, of rural Democrats, of union workers, of everyone from Joe Manchin to AOC. The notion that the Democratic Party could have a candidate that united everyone is next to impossible, but that's what we got with Tim Walz. He has something for everyone, and what this means is that we not only get to keep the enthusiasm that's propelled Harris to the lead in polling and to a massive financial war chest and advantage over Trump, but we're now certain to see more. So if you thought Kamala Harris was popular before, just wait until Tim Walz is on the campaign trail with her, making his case to the American people from the perspective of someone who's made sure that children have hot meals and who's expanded voting rights and implemented paid leave and protected the climate and served this country. Walz is a nightmare for Trump and Republicans, and we're about to get 90 days of seeing exactly why that is. I've got a really exciting announcement. I've written a book. It's called Shameless. This book explores how Republicans have exploited their historical branding while attacking our democracy, how the media has proven itself a willful participant, and how Democrats can learn from this to rebalance the political scales and save our democracy. It has been a lifelong dream of mine to write my own book, and so I'd like to ask you to pre-order it by clicking the link right here on the screen. And if you buy within this pre-order period, your book is going to come with a signed nameplate. As you know, I've never had a single sponsor on my channel. I don't ask for money or anything like that, but if you're looking for a way to support me, this is hands down the best way to do it. So again, follow the link right here on the screen, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for pre-ordering Shameless. And as always, make sure to subscribe to see more of my content.